So some of these lessons can get very deep. Hey everyone, it's Cynthia, and today we're going to talk about the 10 things I learned in high school. Now, I know some of you are probably not in high school anymore, so either ignore this video or just watch it and see if you can relate. I know I learned many lessons in high school, so for those who are going into high school, I just want you guys to just take a deep breath and just listen to what I have to say and just kind of let it simmer and see if it applies to you in the future. Because high school is definitely a really difficult time in your adolescent life, but you can learn a lot from high school. And I'm about to go to college soon, so I just took this time to really reflect and see how much I've grown over the years, and I know you will too. They come from a very personal stance for me, and I hope these help you just deal with these 4 years. Alright, without further ado, let's go. The first thing you need to know is when you fail a test, your life is not over. So your tiger mom may kill you today, but your employer probably won't. Think in the long term. That one test will mean nothing. But if you make failing tests a lifestyle, then your employer might not even exist. So I'm not saying that, oh, failing a test is totally okay, because your grades do matter, but they don't matter to the extent that you think they probably do. Honestly, when I was in freshman year, I was so anal about my grades, and it was like if I got an A- on something, I'd freak out, and I look back on it and I'm just like, that was so unnecessary. It just gives you unnecessary stress, and you just freak out about really nothing. You will get into college, and you will be able to find a lifestyle that you were looking for. So do not stress that much. Number 2. Now, I was a kid who was really involved in high school. Like, I was in all of the major clubs. I was in Key Club, NHS, I made my own club, music charity club, and I was in CYN8THIA, and I was on e-board for a lot of these clubs. So my time was taken up by a lot of other activities I was doing outside of school, and so trying to learn how to balance my schoolwork with my extracurriculars, with social life, it was just a lot of work. I remember just stressing out at night at like 2 a.m. in the morning trying to finish that assignment because I couldn't get home until like 9 to start homework. Go and explore those activities. Yes, get involved in high school. It is the time to get involved, but you don't want to overload yourself with work. You have to look at your time and be able to tell, okay, I have this many hours, and knowing myself, I can get this X amount done in Y amount of hours. Time is limited, and you need to be able to differentiate what's really valuable to you, and that, of course, depends on the lifestyle you want to live in high school and beyond. Number 3. You will get really good at taking notes in class when the teacher is talking at 100 miles per hour. For me, and also studying skills. Studying skills for me were making tons and tons of flashcards and just bullet pointing study guides. And basically, sophomore and junior year for me were just figuring out how to take notes. I think that's one of the biggest lessons in high school. When you get into college, you don't really have that much time to figure that out. So take high school as like a trial run for college. Learn how to learn, if that makes sense. You will thank me in the future. If you do not study now, I suggest you try. Even if you don't think you need it, if you know how to take notes and you know how to study before you get into college, it'll be so much easier. Number 4, many relationships are really important in high school, and this can mean many things. Friends, family, teachers, acquaintances, counselors, significant others, people in your People in your life shape you as a person, but everybody's temporary. One day, all of your familiar faces, so you should know which relationships to really hang on to and keep close. People who make you feel uncomfortable and bad about yourself are just not worth hanging on to. So don't dwell too much on those relationships. People were all there for a reason. They shaped you as a person, whether you liked it or not. And holding a grudge only hurts you more than it hurts anyone else. And there's just no reason to hold a grudge. Number 5, find your real interests in high school. Now, there's this image that you keep up in high school. It doesn't matter where or what type of high school you attended. It can be big, small, cliquey, non-cliquey, whatever, international. But in high school, you have this idea that you have to be this type of person because that's how everyone else perceives you as. And you shape yourself so that you fit in to the environment around you so that you don't feel left out. Because that's what humans are most afraid of, being alone and being isolated. Sometimes you feel like your actions have to match your personality or your image, and it makes you do things that you question and that you don't like, and you're just sitting there wondering why you joined this organization or did this activity or said those things in the first place, because they made no sense to you as a person, but it makes sense to your image and what people perceive you as. No matter how important you think this image is to you, it's really not that important to the people around you. Really not that important, yes. People will judge a little bit. That's how humans are. They're gonna judge, and especially in the adolescent stage with a bunch of angsty teenagers around you, they're gonna judge you. But that shouldn't stop you from being yourself and doing the things that you actually like and pursuing your passions. So when you're in high school, join a club that you love because you're passionate about it. Don't do it for college. Don't do it for an image. Be yourself. Be true. Number 6, you control your future. Do not blame anyone else for the mistakes that you've made. You start making some life-impacting decisions in high school. It's scary, I know. But trust me, it's a lot more exciting than scary if you look at it from a different perspective. You can start controlling the life you want to live now. So why not take the plunge for it? If you want to be a doctor versus if you want to be a free spirit and live in the woods or something, I don't know, then your high school career might look a little bit differently than the other. There are always going to be bumps along the road, and you cannot blame someone else for obstacles that you come across. Those are just challenges for you and for you alone. Not your teacher's fault, your parents' fault, your friend's fault, your significant other's fault. You have the choices to come out of it strong and deal with the rest of life. So choose wisely and take action. Number 7, you can admire your role models, but do not follow in their footsteps. I remember freshman year, I was kind of guilty of this. I looked up to a lot of upperclassmen who I perceived as really successful, and I thought that if I just did the same things that they did, joined the same activities, tried to get the same teachers even, I would be able to be successful too. But guess what? Everyone is their own individual person. They were successful because they were being themselves and they're pursuing what they were passionate about. If you follow that, that's not you. You have to follow your own passions and ideas and be your own person. Once you can find who you are, then you'll be successful. So take the time to really figure out who you are and what you're interested in and what you're passionate about. And if you just pursue those, I promise you, you cannot go wrong. Number 8, this shall all pass. There will be dark moments where you believe that you can't pull yourself through anymore, but everything passes with time. This is a really bad metaphor, but when you're drunk on stress and depression, take a little nap and let time do the sobering for you. that make sense? Okay. De-stress, take a deep breath, and just keep swimming. Perspective is so important here. Think of it as a challenge or a life lesson instead. Don't think of it as a dark hole that you cannot climb out of, because then if you believe that and you keep telling yourself that, you will actually not be able to get better. A glass that is always half full is a glass that can be full again. Number 9. Everyone is fighting a battle in high school. There are always going to be irksome people, strange persons, mean bullies, class clowns, nerds, people in general, just your normal stereotypic group of teenagers in high school. Whoever you think or label them as, they're people. They're facing something different than you are. They have their own secrets, they have their own history that has shaped them into the person they are now. And instead of bashing them for what little you may know about them, maybe talk to them. Be sympathetic and be understanding. Be a listening ear. I found that if you listen to a variety of people and you just listen to what they have to say, you will become a lot more sympathetic and open to different types of people, and you're just more educated yourself. It helps you, it helps them, it breaks high school stereotypes. You are not above anyone else, and you're not below anyone else. We're all just people. And in high school, it's so easy to forget that. So maybe you'll even make a friend out of it. Just talk to someone you might not think you'll ever talk to, and you might be really surprised on what they have to say. Number 10. Perspectives change as you evolve, so never be too sure about anything. You're going to hang on to a lot of ideas and build a lot of ideas that you're going to set in stone and believe that this is the norm and that this is how everything should be and needs to be, whether it be a stereotype, a social norm, a perceived ideal. Don't be so sure about your values right now, because you're going to experience a lot more new things in high school. You're going to meet a lot more people, varieties of people. You're going to be educated on topics that you haven't been educated about. And with those experiences and that new knowledge, you are going to inevitably change some of the things that you believe now. And just with those 4 years, you can be sure that for the rest of your life, those things are gonna keep evolving and changing. I know we've been taught from a young age to hang on to our beliefs and hang on to them tight and defend the heck out of them. There are always two sides to a story. There is always going to be a more complex layer. So don't hang on, don't just like grab onto your beliefs and say, I am never letting go to these ideas, because you will never grow and change. And change is the only constant in life. Alright, I think I ended on a pretty deep note already. So it was great for me to really reflect on these 4 years of high school, and I really hope that that video helped you kind of think about, well, how do I approach high school and how do I make the most out of it? I've grown so much more as a person, and I've learned more things than the classroom had promised me. High school can either suck or it can be life-changing. That's a perspective choice. You choose that for yourself. The decision is ultimately yours. I will see you guys next week, and I hope you guys had a great summer, and I hope this school year goes well for you. Bye guys. Anyways, I am going to college this year, and I decided to have a huge haul for my school supplies and dorm supplies and just living supplies for college, and I thought I would share them with you this year.